you hear me, man? Good. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing this fine day? I hope you met the day when you awoke with joyous acceptance, as I was talking to one master last night. Joyous acceptance with surrender. To joyously accept, as I contemplated last night, to joyously accept whatever arises within what we call samsara as a result of our own karma. Surrendering doesn't mean to give up or to be complacent or irresponsible. Again, to surrender something is to give it up. So what is it I'm giving up? As I was just reading prior, I'm giving up my attachment to the illusionary existence of phenomena, which I have mistakenly identified as being permanent. So again, saying to someone yesterday on the Zoom, what is this cause of our suffering? Our constant attachment to the false identification of phenomena that is ever so fleeting, impermanent, transitory, and ultimately is empty. Again, they use the metaphor or simile. It is like a reflection of the moon upon the water at night. The reflection of the moon seen upon the water is not the moon. But then again, when someone points to the moon, it too is nothing more than a reflection. It is like a dream that we exist in moment to moment, not realizing that we are dreaming and that we are the dreamer. Phenomena arising is like an apparition which we try to grasp and embrace in space, and our hands and arms just slip through. Then it says it's also like an echo. The sound goes out and we hear it come back. But where is the sound that went out and who heard the sound? Or another one that says it's like the trick of the magician. It appears to be magic, appearing and disappearing, but it's just a trick. So there are merely ways to apprehend this samsaric phenomena existence. But it doesn't mean we should despair and just go into our cave or stay in our retreat house and pull a blanket over our head and just cry because of the direness of the situation. If that was the case, then there would be no value in engaging in practice and talking about the Buddha nature, the awakened mind, etc. But the capacity to walk the razor's edge is already inherent within each one of us. The knowingness of the ultimate nature of things, but recognizing the appearance of things, which again brings us to the point of joyous acceptance, because we understand the fleetingness of this samsaric experience and perception. We understand the intrinsic nature and that it is transitory, that it does arise, dwell, and cease, like the smoke from the incense. So again, it's enjoy joyously, even though sometimes it is quite difficult, and maybe even moments very painful, whether within or without, physically, spiritually, emotionally, etc. But knowing that it is intrinsically empty and all things will come to pass, we can joyously accept the moment as it arises and dissipates. Perhaps as you go through the day, this day, check in from time to time. How was my dream? How was my dream? And I hear myself saying in my maybe 8-year-old mind, first or second grade, I try my best and say, joyously accept. Joyously accept and surrender as I row my boat merrily, joyously. Things arise and dwell and cease, like the snap of a finger or a flash of lightning in the sky. But again, not to despair. It comes, it goes, but it doesn't affect or taint the intrinsic nature of our own enlightened quality. It doesn't take away from the inherent nature of loving kindness and compassion for the flower, the lotus of our heart that lies within each and every one of us this very moment. We are still, and it is so true, I'm not sure if I see the wisdom being that said, we're not out of the woods yet. We must learn to live in the woods. Every time I sit out on my little porch and I look in the woods, I remember I'm still in the woods. Joyously accept. Many things unfold of great beauty in the woods, and there are many dangers in the woods. So therefore, we must tread cautiously with mindfulness and awareness and learn to live in the woods. And when I say learn to live in the woods, I'm sure, I don't know if it's appropriate to keep saying Little Red Riding Hood. Maybe she's not all that little and was quite smart. But if we're going to go into the woods, perhaps we should be aware of the wolf. And perhaps grandmother is just a deception or a ploy to lure us into the dangers which we didn't know were there. Because if we look at that story, what happened to the wolf? We all know the story. But anyway, this concept of it, I was talking last night to one master, joyous acceptance and surrender. Joyously accept, as I thought about it and contemplated, joyously accept whatever arises, dwells, or ceases in the moment. See how fleeting it is? Here we are, already 15 minutes or so, poof, and it seems like nothing at all. So we are still in a very precarious situation. And the world is still in a global pandemic of ignorance, of attachment, of desire, and anger, and arrogance. Not to exclude all, as it says, the 84,000 kleshas that boil down into just three main ones, as I stated: the ignorance, the desire, and the anger. These are the fuels that construct what we call our reality or samsara. But to know about emptiness and that all things are fleeting doesn't negate our experience And it's just the experience that we affix ourselves to that create varying degrees of suffering. So I come back to how I began. Knowing the nature of samsara and how we experience it, and that it doesn't negate because we're not suppressing our involvement in it. But whatever arises with a joyousness, an openness, we accept. I accept this present moment. If I accept this present moment and I'm not in denial or rejection or aversion or attachment, then I can begin to surrender to the circumstances as opposed to thrashing about like I'm bound by my hands and feet, desperately trying to get out, when really there is not even a rope that could hold one's hands or feet. All just an illusion. So we have this capacity to come to a recognition of this, I like this word, phantasmagoric magical display. Phantasmagoric magical display, appearing and going away. It's like watching the butterfly the other day. And then I looked at the butterfly and I thought, am I the butterfly visualizing that I'm sitting here? Or am I sitting here and the butterfly is visualizing me? Perhaps me and the butterfly are one and the same as it flew away. May my troubles and all those of others be like that butterfly, lightly moving through the space and then gently fading away. Isn't it like that? At one moment, you're enthralled in the intensity of the dream, and then like a bubble, like the light, like a sunbeam, touches it, and it's gone away, only to make room for the next that will come our way. So maybe joyously accept and surrender. I think all of the great masters at the time of their departure, for the most part, they are happy. They joyously accept the transition. I feel every day must prepare for that temporary intermediary journey. Perhaps going through the burdles will be short-lived. Oh, I will digress just for a moment as I have already talked too much. But there's a movie which you may have seen called Jacob's Ladder. And I have seen it many times because Jacob's Ladder, the movie, is based on the Tibetan Book of the Dead. But when it was on the other night, I said, I cannot watch. It's just too depressing. I don't want to watch. I know this story so well. But it is, if you choose, it's definitely a Buddhist movie, Jacob's Ladder. And so I thought how we enter into the dream, how we create the dream, how we forget that we are dreaming, and how somehow we disempower ourselves and think, I cannot change this dream, but you can. As one Shaolin master, Buddhadharma, the path we walk is the path we create. So I paused for a moment to moment wakefulness, Lama Kazi would say, moment to moment wakefulness. Then moment to moment, we are creating phenomena through our collective unconscious, subconscious, and conscious. These 4 levels of consciousness and who knows, maybe many more. But from this field, we create what we call our perceivable or cognizing reality. The reality that you awoke this morning, poof, it's gone, isn't it? You cannot recapture it. And even the feelings you may have arisen as you got out of your bed, they are no more. Only a chemical residue remaining in our bones, our muscles, in our brain, etc. To be as vast and open as I believe the sky is today, so much going around, getting ready, I did not even look out. I only saw it briefly from the curtain that's still closed. But of what I could see, the sun seems to be bright, maybe some clouds that form through the night. But other than that, it's not, oh, it is a good day to remember, to joyously accept and surrender as we go along our way. Take a breath in, please. Breathing out, bring the hands together. And we have the thought, I pay homage to my ancestors. Who are our ancestors? All of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, lineage masters, yogis, down to the most simplest yogi or beggar. We pay homage to them, the embodiment of the enlightened qualities of all of the enlightened beings or Buddhas, past, present, and future. These are not separate from ourselves. We are ever connected through cause and effect and results. If it was not so, then we would not be here at this moment with our hands folded and paying homage. May we and all sentient beings receive their blessings, and may we be liberated from this phantasmagoric magical display. And may loving kindness and compassion and joyousness and equanimity and knowledge and wisdom grow day by day, so that we may be able to really say, I joyously accept and surrender, not just for myself, but for the benefit of all sentient beings. May their troubles not carry them away. Again, rest for a moment. Settling upon your seat this morning. And this precarious precipice in which we are balanced on. I'm curious. I will have to find some dictionary online, I'm sure. And as I've said, look up the word now, bubble. We are in a bubble, this bubble of cyberspace, this bubble of keeping ourselves safe, the bubble of having or not having received vaccination, and the bubble that we create as we seek to return to ordinariness, normalcy, which it never was to begin with. But at least we are in the falsity that this is what we wish to do. And I thought about, again, what we know. Many countries have still closed their borders, and many countries and communities and individuals are not doing well. And in this not doing well of the immense suffering that's happening in so many quarters of the planet, there are those who are profiting off of the backs of those who are suffering. I guess this is what we do as human beings. And we supposedly are at the top of the chain of consciousness. It makes you wonder. So that's why it is imperative that there are collective groups around this planet from many spiritual traditions, etc., who are engaged in prayer. I just saw Mr. Sakya, and the borders, I believe there's a lockdown in Nepal. There's a lockdown. India is in dire shape. I see two Brazilian people, again, difficulty. Many places, Colombia, also difficult. And even parts of our country. It seems like if we're not being destroyed by the outer virus, then the inner virus is the one who is eating the holes like a moth in a piece of cloth. So what can we do? Mr. Sakya said to me, we can pray. We were talking briefly. What we can do now is surrender our prayers, not out of defeat or despair, but a joyous acceptance. This is karma and how it unfolds. And we take responsibility, each and every one of us takes responsibility to at least have the thoughts and to put out the energies of joyous acceptance that brings liberation. And by surrendering, by letting go, we are liberated. Letting go of what? Our ignorance, our misplaced desire, our attachment, and our anger. Just those. So as you go through this day, when you become upset or irritated over whatever it may be, surrender. If you are being argumentative and gossiping and speaking ill, surrender, let go. If someone calls your names in some fashion, things don't go your way, maybe just laugh and go, it's okay. Not to worry. Joyous acceptance. So you check. When the difficulty arises, do not be shackled and bound by the illusionary entrapments of ropes. And probably know that which I see is my own creation. It's like Dorje Rinpoche was teaching students, and we know this little parable. And I've had this happen too. You walk outside, it's a little very dark at night, and maybe you only have the moonlight. And you see a snake down by your feet, and you jump. And you look closer, and you laugh. Why do you laugh? Because it was not a snake. It was only a crooked stick lying upon the path. And once again, my mind and heart have been deceived by this ill-placed perception. So the same, recognize the snakes are not there. It's only a stick. And we can remove the stick from the path so we don't make that mistake again when we go out the night and perhaps sit or walk about. Take a breath in, please. Breathing out. So again, we'll do Drupna Randro. And as we engage in practice this morning, I was already thinking, we keep not one iota, Namakazi, not one iota of the benefit. I don't want you sin to our ancestors of India, and our ancestors of Nepal, and our ancestors of Bhutan. And we can go on. Spiti, you don't even know Spiti. And Ladakh, you don't know Ladakh. All of these are Himalayan places where this tradition thrives. And I would be willing to bet that in each one of those monasteries and gompas and hermitage and caves, there are individuals who are sitting in intense practice for the benefit of all sentient beings. So may we join them in whatever way we can to add to the blessings that may be at some level beneficial to liberate at hand all of those who are trapped in the falsity of this phantasmagoric display that we call samsara. Take a breath in, please. Breathing out. And as though from your own heart space, from the single sun, it's in one text, the source of the single sun, or the dawn of the eastern light in the heart space, rises up. Above the head sits Dorje Simpa to cleanse and purify our own attachment and ignorance and desire. We do recitation of long Vajrasattva for the benefit of all sentient beings. Even when I say that, I see the fabric of space and the interconnected pathways that exist within the cosmos. The brilliancy of Dorje Simpa is filling those corridors with grace. May all sentient beings have harmony and peace. And I conclude by saying, perhaps they will find a smile upon their face. Manobalaya Badruzadu Denova Dudududumabua Zugaya Mabua Zugaya Mabua Mabua Zedum Zedum Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Savadata Badru Samaya Zadu Arum Badruzadu Samaya Manobalaya Badruzadu Denova Dudududumabua Zugaya Mabua Zugaya Anarado Mabua Zawaziri Mebrea Zuzarugamba Zuzume Setum Zirim Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bago Sada Gada Badru Mani Buzo Vezibo Maha Samaya Satu Adam Badru Zatu Samaya Panu Padaya Badru Zatu So was it in my brain? There's a sitting home. Muzovenze Baba Ma Zamaya Sadua, Badru Satu Samaya, Mano Badaya, Badru Satu, Anarado Mebova, Zovazidi, Mebrea, Zaraga, Sedum Zidum Guru Hong, ha ha ha, Bagavan, Sawa, Badru, Samayo. Madruza de Zamaya, Mano Valaya, Badruza de Denova, Dedu, Sudo, Kaya, Sudo, Kaya, Anarado. The Waziri Mebrea, Zaragama, Zedum Sirim Guru, ha ha ha, Bhagavan, Sawa, Badru. Subende Baba Mahazama Yazadu, Madruza de Zamaya, Mano Valaya, Badruza de Denova, Dedu, Sudo, Kaya, Sudo, Kaya. Anarado Mebo, Zawaziri Mebrea, Zaraga, Sedum Sirim Guru, ha ha ha, Bhagavan. Zavada Gadu Badru, my name was Baba Ma Samaya Zatu, Badru Zatu Samaya Valaya. Badru Zadu Denoba, Didu, Zudu Kayon, Zudu Kayon, Hanaratu, Zava Zidi, Mebrea, Sedum Zidum Guru Hong, ha ha ha, Bhagavan, Savada Gadu Badru, my name was Baba Ma Samaya Zatu, Badru Zatu. Manobalaya, Badru Zadu, Denova, Didu, Sudo Kayon, Sudo Kayon, Hanaratu, Zova Zidi, Mebrea, Tuzume Zedum Sidum Guru Hong, ha 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 ha, Bhagavan, Savada Gadu Badru, my name was Samaya Zadu, Adum Badru Zadu, Samaya, Manobalaya, Badru Zadu, Denova, Didu. Sudogaya Mabova, Zubogaya Mabova, and the Radon Mabova, Sava City, Mebrea, Zaraka, Sada Gada Badru, my name is Benzeboa, Zamaya, Satua, Humbadruza, Zamaya, Manova, Badruza, Yedu Mabova, Sudokaya Mabova, Sudokaya Mabova, and Radon Mabova, Sava City. Come to the Mezidun Guru, my name was a visit, Baba Maha, Samaya, Satu, Adam Badruza, Samaya, Manova, Badruza. Get to the Mabova, Zudogaya, Mabova, Sudokaya, Mabova, Mabova, Sedum Zidum Guru Hong, ha 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 ha, Bhagavan, Salvada, Badru, my name is a visit, Baba Maha, Samaya, Satu, Adam Badruza. Manova, ya Badruza, Denova, Didu, Mabova, Sudokaya, Mabova, Sudokaya, Mabova, Mabova, Salvada, Zedum Zedum Guru Hong, ha 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 ha, Bhagavan. Salvada, Badru, my name was a visit, Baba Maha, Samaya. Tumbadruza Maya, Manovalaya, Badruza, Denova, Didu, Sudokaya, Mabova, Sudokaya, Mabova, so Zedum Mebrea, Zaragama, Zedum Guru Hong, ha ha ha, Bhagavan. Sada Gada Badru, my name is Baba Maha, Samaya, Badruza, Samaya, Manovalaya. Badruza Denova, Didu, Mabova, Sudokaya, Mabova, Sudokaya, Mabova. Radio Mabova, Zova Zedi, Mebrea, Zaragama, Zedum Guru Hong, ha ha ha, Bhagavan, Zova, Badru, my name is Baba. Zadu Adam Badruza, Samaya, Manubalaya, Badruza, Denova, Didu, Mabova, Sudokaya, Mabova, Sudokaya, Mabova, and the Radio Mabova. So Ziri Mebrea, Zaragama, Zedum Guru, ha ha, Bhagavan. Sada Gada Badru, my name was a mental Bawa Maha, Samaya, Satu, Adam Badruza, Samaya, Manubalaya. Badruza, Denova, Didu, Mabova, Sudokaya, Mabova, Sudokaya, Mabova, and the Radio Mabova, so Ziri Mebrea, Zaragama, Zedum Guru Hong, ha ha ha, Bhagavan, Salvada Gada Badru, my name was a mental Bawa Maha, Samaya, Satu. So to be cleansed and purified for the benefit of others, and that others are also cleansed and purified. So again, you can find Dharma teachings wherever you look. If you notice, in the lower right-hand corner is Mr. Sakya. And Mr. Sakya is driving car. So I think it's like us. We're driving our car. through samsara. I am driving through samsara. Oh, go this way now. No, go that way now. And then with mindfulness and awareness, you notice he's driving, taking care of his family. Who is it that takes care of family? Bodhisattva. So Mr. Sakya has a good name, right? Sakya Muni. Sakya Muni. Take care of the family of sentient beings. To do what? To take them safely to the other shore. To take them the water of samsara to safety across. How? He never get upset, turn this way, turn that way. Maybe he has a son, a daughter in the back. Dad, hurry up, we want to get home. See, there is son waving, right? So I'm watching the scenery go by, cleansing and purifying, right? Then thinking, oh, Mr. Sakya is driving the car. Bodhisattva taking the sentient beings to safety. So open your eyes and look around and see how the Dharma unfolds moment by moment. As I said to someone again yesterday, what is Dharma? What is Buddhism? It is the one who seeks and practices loving kindness and compassion, joyousness, equanimity, to have knowledge and wisdom for the benefit of others. This is just human quality, isn't it? So what the Buddha taught, perhaps, was how to be a human being. And it seems in some capacity, we are evolving and things are changing. And to say they are better is not adequate to say they're just better. No, we are blessed. Look how many different things have occurred just over this year, how things have changed. Granted, there will always be stumbling blocks and difficulty. There will always be some obstacle. Mr. Sakya has to drive around. There's potholes here, right? Paying attention there. It is just called living the life. But either we can get upset in how we live our life or drive our car, or we can joyously accept and surrender moment to moment, whatever is arising, however we are beset. So rest for a moment. Rest in pure perception. The purity of whatever is perceived through the 6 gates, through the 6 guardians, or the 6 culprits. Or we could say the 6 jokers, or the robbers, many names. Forcing eye and ear and nose and tongue and body and mind. May they be cleansed and purified. May all their various distortions and troubles be left behind. And in this present moment, rest. Pure perception. It arises naturally. No longer be attached to what you see, or what you hear, or smell, or taste, or feel, or think. Breathing out. Dorje Samten Ling Gonpa. So, the other thought now, I hope you reflect upon the paramitas, the 6 paramitas. Very important. You'll have the time, myself included. Let's practice being patient today. Practice being patient. And in being patient, then practice generosity. Wherever you find yourself, you can practice generosity just by being open and patient. Then whatever is occurring in your lives today, this morning, forbearance, as the Master said, or perseverance, to persevere, not begrudgingly, but joyously, we will all get through, go forward, persevere. Then that we conduct ourselves in appropriate ways. We're not belittling and putting down and gossiping and being angry toward others or engaging in inappropriate activities of body, speech, and mind. So we practice ethics, behavior. And whatever you're doing, concentrate, focus. Maybe you'll do something as antiquated as having cut up a piece of fruit with a sharp, sharp knife. And if you don't pay attention, you just might cut yourself. So every time I cut the fruit with the knife, I say, what am I doing? Only cut the fruit. Only wipe off the knife. Only put it down so it doesn't fall on your foot. I would be willing to bet you've had these experiences. And when you don't pay attention, all of a sudden, you cut off a part of your nail, or you cut your finger. And may the Buddhists forbid that the knife falls just right. It sticks in your foot. I always watch out that I don't do this by paying attention. So many ways, concentrate on what you're doing. And when something goes awry or missed, then you say to yourself, laugh and go, I wasn't paying attention. Oh, good lesson. So we can add the last one, wisdom. And the wisdom comes from knowing that if I do not pay attention through the other 5, the wisdom comes knowing I just might cut myself. I just may poke myself. I may harm myself, and most important, I actually may harm others. So this is what you can practice these 6 paramitas, and each one fits to the other until we have 36. But maybe just be patient. Things are changing. Don't despair. Look around. It will take time. Nothing remains the same. So what does Shanti Deva say? As I found this yesterday, I said, let's see if I can make sense out of it. So he says, therefore, the pain that someone else is feeling is something that I must rightly work to remove. For the simple reason that it is a kind of pain. What use is it to say here that the distinction between myself and others is something that is fixed? We must undertake to eliminate each and every pain of every other person. You can't therefore continue this argument of yours, where you keep asking why the pain of all other beings is something you must stop, even though they don't do any hurt to you. Your own pain is not something that you ever want. So if you're going to stop it, then it is right that you must stop all of the pain that exists. But if the pain and suffering of others is not something that you should remove, then your own pain should be just like that of all other beings. Meaning that your own pain then would never be something that you should work to remove. Given all of this, you must learn to cherish others just as you cherish yourself, and make dedicated efforts to removing their suffering. How can we be free of pain and suffering when we know others are suffering immensely? when you look at the pictures and hear of all the various things that are happening in our world, I don't know, it affects me, not to the point where I fall down, but more encouraged with greater conviction to engage in practice, to do what Shantideva is saying, to take the responsibility, to assume the responsibility, to liberate others from that which brings about suffering or pain. Because we are happy and safe in this little bubble, but knowing that others in other quadrants of this planet are suffering immensely, then how can we disregard that? If one person suffers, then we all suffer, indirectly or directly. So what we can do directly or indirectly is engage with the motivation and the intent to pray for the circumstances and the results that will alleviate that suffering. And even though we may not see, you might go and pray, but I don't see any change. That's ego. Ego wants to see and be satisfied. We don't need to see what happens as a result, but we do need to engage in the process that might bring about that change of results. So this is the way of the Bodhisattva. When my mothers and my fathers are suffering, are we not also suffering? If one of your children, your pet, your parents, when they suffer, it's like hearing Shylock says, "When you cut me, do I not bleed?" Merchant of Venice, Shakespeare. So look at the day and look at practice as you go your way. How does it really take on meaning? And it's not just some abstractness, but it has a fullness of impactness that moves us to practice for the benefit of all sentient beings, to alleviate the root cause of the virus of suffering, ignorance, which we know, desire, and anger. Take a breath in again, please. Breathing out. And again, we start with the thought. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind, so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind, so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind, so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Namo Lama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Lakapsujo, Gita Lakapsujo. Nama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Lakapsujo, Gita Lakapsujo, Nama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Lakapsujo, Gita Lakapsujo. Lama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Lakapsujo, Gita Lakapsujo, Nama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo. Jolagapsujo, Gita Lakapsujo, Nama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Jolagapsujo, Gita Lakapsujo, Nama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Lakapsujo. Lama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Jolagapsujo, Gita Lakapsujo, Lama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Jolagapsujo, Lama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Jolagapsujo, Gita Lakapsujo, Lama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Jolagapsujo, Gita Lakapsujo, Lama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Jolagapsujo, Gita Lakapsujo, Lama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Jolagapsujo, Gita Lakapsujo, Lama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Jolagapsujo, Lama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Jolagapsujo, Gita Lakapsujo, Lama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo, Jolagapsujo, Gita Lakapsujo, Lama Lakapsujo, Singa Lakapsujo. So this concept of joyous acceptance and surrender. When one feels that they're in an environment that is safe and supported and kind, etc., then, oh, I'm okay. Then you're happy, right? You become happy and you let go, you surrender. And you accept, oh, this place is okay. So the place that is okay, that we now can joyously accept, is the refuge of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Having done that, then as Shantideva said, how can I be at peace and happy when there's so much unrest? Therefore we say, sentient beings are infinite. I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Sentient beings are infinite. I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. So the Bodhisattva as the enlightened being existing within the corridors of samsara is shielded or has the armament of four things. The four immeasurables: loving kindness, compassion, joyousness, and equanimity. These are what we have taken refuge in inwardly and outwardly, because these are the qualities of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. And you are all Bodhisattvas of peace, Bodhisattvas of compassion, Bodhisattvas of loving kindness and joyousness, and the Bodhisattvas who surrenders to the apparitions and the dreamlike quality of samsara. And we join the ranks of those who have gone before and who still exist, who exhibit these qualities in the form of the Bodhisattvas and the Arahats. And we appeal to them, please bestow your blessings upon all. Sangye do dange do babe zo da da zo da jo da je zo drumer garuba zade do 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 jambe garudar ge rar da ba do da je da ba je lupu da ba zadra ba da de je je da lo tambe pa je ba zra da ba de zanza de da je ba be wa je ba ge ba za lo jamba zunur ba de do je Zenre Zenwan Gumbo Zambe Baza Ye Gembo Jeba Nambaza Nanga Nimbo Bado Dondo Zo Uba Doje Baga Galo Dawa Dede Namaye Zaze Nanda Daje Paje Jo Jenza Zemba Lola Zazalo Dorje Dorje na Dunjom Banzo Lama Lama Nenda Dunda Bundom Bariru Jedu Tanze Wango Lulu Der Dorje Garie Tanze Tudu Gawa Chende Ye Ma Jowa Chende Bebe We Taje La Murye La Taga Zamba Jembo Dondo Jebe Bu Do Lobo Lodo Zo Marie Dondo Donwa Tezeza Nando Zede Nande Guru Do De Do De Doje Baja Redo Doje Taze Zodo Nede Gela Teje Pe Teje Pua Gula Jazago Bado Dede Jowa Zumbuda Yende Jowa Dewa Gunzo De Dundum Baba Tundun Yejeju Taje Dele Ponzon Tumba Tajo Dewa Zumbula Yende Dewa Dewa Dundun Dundum Baba Tundun Yejeju Taje Dele Ponzon Tumba Dado Jende Jawa Zumbola Gindan Jawa Jawa Gunjone Dondo Baba Sedon Yeshedo Taje Dele Bonzo Soma. So you have received the blessings from the Arhats and the Bodhisattvas. And whatever your motivation and your intent, your aspirations, etc., may they be fulfilled through those blessings. Jurab Nanze Danje Be Zombe Chenze Dodo Da Sange Dodo Negede Zombe Chenze Semge Do Jeze Nanga Naba Dam Towa Jeze Nego Ba Jeze Doje Nego Ne Towa Derga Zawa Zo Chonam Jele Gere Jon De Jon Jeze Jebe Zo Kula Gombo Ganya Ba Jinjo Jimbo Digeso Doba Dabda Samba Ye Sange Doda Gidonla Jinjo Nibo Jige Ba Daba Tani Kabzuji Jirab Nende Danche Be Zombe Jenje Dodo Ta Sange Dodo Negede Zombe Jinjo Jimge Do Jeze Nanga Namba Towa Jeze Nego Ba Jeze Doje Nego Ne Dowe Dergal Zawa So Chonam Jele Gede Jon Dejon Jeze Jebe Son Gola Gombo Ganya Ba Junja Jambo Dege Son Lowa Dabda Zamba Ye Zange Doda Gedon La Chenju Nebo Jige Ba Daba Dane Gabzo Zerab Nanze Nanjebe Zombe Jenje Dondo Da Zange Dondo Negede Zombe Jenjo Zange Do Jeze Nanga Namba Dando Wa Jeze Nego Ba Jeze Doje Nego Ne Dowa Dergel Selwa All phenomena arise from their causes. Their causes are explained by the Buddha. Cessation of these causes too are taught thus by the great sage. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the misery, suffering, and the causality of ignorance, attachment, desire, and anger in this world. through loving kindness and compassion. I hope you say this little prayer. We receive this, I received this directly from His Holiness. He gave to us. Every day I say this, may we embody it. Everything is contained in this little short recitation, Vaishnadeva. Who achieved it? The Buddha. Dayata omane mane maha mana yesoha. 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 Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane maha mana yesoha. Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane maha mana yesoha. Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane maha mana yesoha. Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane maha mana yesoha. Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane maha mana yesoha. Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane yesoha. Mane mane Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane mana yesoha. Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane yesoha. Mane mane maha mana Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane yesoha. Mane mane yesoha. Mane mane maha mana yesoha. Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane maha mana yesoha. Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Mane mane mana yesoha. Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Zomane mane maha mana yesoha. Receiving the blessings again, the four places, the four lights corresponding to our body and to that of others. We visualize the lotus and the moon disk and the seed syllable are radiant light in the 10 directions, having the qualities of loving kindness and compassion, having the qualities of our fortune, our merit, our happiness, and our blessings, which radiate out. Then as I have been practicing and breathing in, I think I'm breathing in all of the ashes, the smoke of the burning pyres of the bodies that are in India, that are in Nepal, that are in places that we don't even know, where people are just dying right on the street in front of your eyes. So we draw this directly into the flower and the awe of our hearts, where it's transformed, and then we send it back out, give it out in a form of deep, your intention that may each and every sentient being not suffer or have the cause of suffering, that may each and every sentient being have happiness and the cause of happiness, And may each and every sentient being be liberated from the inner viruses that manifest outwardly as the symptoms, like coronavirus, but more so like hatred and prejudice and jealousy and arrogance and pride and ignorance. Practice giving first, give out, then take in. Count the outgoing breath as a marker, and we begin. In your mind's eye, visualize that our intentions have been manifested. And as we breathe out, separating our thumbs, eyes, and chin on the horizontal plane, breathing in and out through our mouth gently, the essence and the nature of the Buddha's mind is the primordial ground of our own mind and all sentient beings. Therefore, as though visualize that you are a glass of water, and that the Buddha is a glass of water. And as you dissolve the visualization, it's like pouring the water of the Buddha's mind into the water of your mind. Can you tell the difference between the two waters? Are they not one and the same? Rest. Gently breathing out. Nothing has come, nothing has gone. Everything is the same as it always has been. Meaning that the quality of the Buddha is not coming and going, but ever present. Gyaltsen joji goju ne bema june tsetsu ragodo gando mabogu gege zazu dadu ge jenje lashe tsetsu so guru pema zide Urgyen joji nanzan sam bema ge zazu la Gyaltsen joji goju ne bema june tsetsu ragodo gando mabogu gege zazu dadu ge Jenje la xie za zu zu guru pema si di hong Urgyen yuji nan san san pema ge za dong pu la Gyaltsen joji guru ne pema ju ne za zu ra Gudu urgando mambu gur ge ge za zu da ju ge Jenje la xie za zu zu guru pema si di Mahu Jojo Jogi Yenge Janga Joji Jojo Gaga Pepe Gan Jojo Dojo Jewa Jembo Darga Jendo Doji Dore Lama Jogi Gula Zuwa de Borgen Bema Jenela Zuwa de Deje Durgi Dumbe Zinganju Gonjo Yonda Yudre Nere Yeje Gede Jowa Jimego Doji Jedra Nejo Jozo Lama Lojo Jogla Zuwa de Borgen Bema Jenela Zuwa de Meje Nede Dembe Zenganju Doji Jembo Jewe Dolaja Alarganda Derge Donda Dedaran Manjo Daga Danjonge Nama Dube Gula Zuwade Urgyen Bema Junela Zuwade Kunjondo Zangera Zera Zen Bema Gera Nida Jujorga Jojo Gadra Judo Gazo Zorgada Nama Nala Zuwade Zenbe Zenbe Durdu Durde Doje Dodo Dobe Targa Narzo Dobe Dobe Tozonge Gude Gurge Tobe Lonje Ba Dreme Uzo Jala Sowade Zejen Gunje Dola Teze Dreme Uzo Renda Dozo Oza Lunje Namge Najoba Jeme Lembe Zala Sowade Ujon Gunge Pama Jenege Zede Dubo Uzo Uzo Senge Dende Nindo Bejojo Kunjo Zembe La Sowade Ulmen Jogi Yinge Pojaga Tuzo Sange Goji Gugoge Ranzam Gugu Gundo Tazebe Zoe Lame Nala Sowade Riromen Jogi Yogi Podan Tuzo Sange Goji Gugoge Ranzam Gugu Guzo Tazeba Zoe Lame Shala Sowade Yowa Gundu Yonan Lama Dan Jome Jogi Bala Lojo Zadan Lam Jiron Dunde Zone Doji Jinji Go Fang Go Tuzo Close off the left. Change. Zoom I U Rivi Lili Kaka Kaka Sata Tanya Tata Tana Tata Tana Baba Bama Yawala Shagaza Sha Omedama Hidu Brava Hidu Takata Haya Wata Gensa Yunoroha E Vamene Mahasamana Soha Ze Badra Samaya Za Bam Om Ritsa Ramane Bhava Daye Soha Ze Badra Samaya Za Bam Om Badra Amrita Kundele Hana Hana Om Be to invoke the presence of Drugna Randro straining Chunrezi. Ze Ranje Nyene Onle Ozo Tobe Lama Dan Dezo Pepe Jonge Gabo Jalbo La Jonjon. Dutzer Gabio Meza Wa Mebe Gunwan Gun Enam Gabaza Sama Za. Sangye Dodan Zoge Zonala, Janjoba Jodani Gabzuji, Daji Zoge Peso, Namge Jola Benze Sange Jobasho. Sangye Dodan Zoge Zonala, Janjoba Jodani Gabzuji, Daji Zoge Peso, Namge Jola Benze Sange Jobasho. Sangye Dodan Zoge Zonala, Janjoba Jodani Gabzuji. Daji Junzuki Bezo Namgi Jola Benze Senge Juba Shu Za Bamu Soji Naranda Jemba Du Baja Mahazi Haragoron Dene Doji Torwa Gurgu Zarba Zuto Zarba Dame Zube Zuto Tume Dende Rundo Jane Yejewe Dando Torwa Godo Doro Mubo Bonzo Soba Doja Gazo Chambuku Oma Oma Bume Pate Saparila Raba Satsamata Sadhana Pate Dejeta Banagaja. Yeah, Namo Zabada Gata you measure Mugube, Sam, the Sapa, Ranakamazoha. Namo Zabada Gata you measure Mugube, Sabata Mogate Sapa Rana, Iram Garana Kamasoha. Namo Zabada Gata you measure Mugube, Sabatu get Sapa Rana, Kamaso. Ah, yeah, Dada Nade La do do. To the obstructors, may they all be liberated. May that which has caused the various viruses within and without, may they be dispelled. Mumbaja Mahasri Haragar Dene Doje Chorua Godu Sarva Zuto Sarva Dame Sube Zuto Tume Demde Rinpoche Nije Shen get you with Nando Dorma Gato Dorma Bumba Mozo Sopo Dajen Katso Jembo Oma Om Ahu Zarabutraga Saratza Zarabutraga Saratza Zarabutraga Saratza Om Saba Megane Namo Saba Dataka Tabaya Meju Mugube Saban Dagete Saparana Miriam Grehana Iram Balinda Taye Soha Om Saba Megane Namo Saba Dataka Tabaya Meju Mugube Saba Datamogete Saparana Iram Grenakam Grehana Iram Balinda Taye Soha Om Saba Megane Namo Saba Dataka Tabaya Meju Mugube Saba Saparana Iram Grehana Iram Balinda Taye Soha Urgyen Samten Don't get me bed and bad and bad, me the wagu, the one and desert, Mela, and Bakuji. Senjin Jam Jawada, the wagu, the wagu, don't get that to the waguji. Don't get me bed and bad and bad, me the wagu, the one and desert, Mela, and Bakuji. Zaji Puja Joja Mejo Drum Rivalun Zenide Zambagi Singers in the middle way, Dungan Zenda Tubasho, Itarana Madrasaga, Medadayame. Zaji Puja Joja Mejo Drum Rivalun Zenide Zambagi Singers in the middle way, Dungan Zenda Tubasho, Itarana Madrasaga, Medadayame. Sashi Puja Joja Mejo Drum Rivalun Zenide Zambagi Singers in the middle way, Dungan Zenda Tubasho. Idam Rada Madruna Kam Nidataya Zombadruza Zamaya Manobalaya Badru Senova Dudu Nabua Dudogaya Nabua Dudogaya Nabua Amaradu Nabua Zovaziri Nepeya Zaragama Dudume Sidam Guru Aha Bhagavan Sarada Gata Baru Manimudu Venze Bava Mahazamaya Badruza Zamaya Manobalaya Badruza Sudogaya Magova, Zubogaya Magova, Anarado Narandro, starting with the Shri Kunji, but first, Vadra Samaya Za carrying the seed. Dra yege drum dra dra Ninduna. Ati Blu Prati Zaho. You are the deity. We need billions and billions of Drugna Randros to manifest throughout the totality of space for the benefit of all sentient beings. I'm sure many monasteries and gumpas and hermitages, and like ourselves, are doing these practices. Like when the rays of the sun are reflected through a prism, multicolored and many directions, in the same way. From your heart space, where there is the seeds, where's the lotus, now sun and moon disk upon Shitsuri. Om Mani Padme Hum is written counterclockwise, moving clockwise. The whole structure is activated and radiates light throughout the total cosmos that supports, that protects, that provides, that liberates, etc. Then many dhakas and bikinis come making special offerings. Om Bhadra Argam Bhata Pupe Dupe Aloke Gande Nevade Shata Ruta Shata Gande Rasha She Bashe Dharma Data Usa Ho. We should think 6 rays of lights are going out. White, red, blue, yellow, green, and black, going out, touching each realm of samsara and liberating suffering of the beings and bringing about happiness, or setting up the causality for their future rebirth as one of preciousness among in the human realm. So mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry. So mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry. So mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme. Beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme. Mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry. Oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry. So mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani. Oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry. So mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry. So mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry. So mani beme hungry, oh 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 mani beme. So mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry. So mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani beme hungry, oh mani Zomane bamba hungry, homane 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 bamba hungry. Zomane bamba hungry, homane 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 bamba hungry. Zomane bamba hungry, homane 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 bamba. Zomane bamba hungry, homane bamba hungry, homane bamba hungry, homane bamba hungry, homane bamba hungry, homane. Omane bamba hungry, homane 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 bamba hungry, homane. Zomane bamba hungry, homane bamba hungry, homane bamba hungry, homane bamba hungry, homane bamba hungry. Omane bamba hungry, homane bamba hungry. Zomane bamba hungry, homane bamba hungry. Zomane bamba hungry, homane bamba hungry, homane bamba. Zomane bamba hungry, homane bamba. And if you have, if not, it doesn't matter. The prayer for pacifying the fear of disease. So I like it. It tells you right up. It's not in some unrelated or fantasy. It just says the prayer for pacifying our fear. And maybe if we pacify our fear, then we would act in more responsible ways so that we do not encounter disease of the mind and disease of the body. Jiden juden wa me goje ja ja je 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 na ju ba da ge me zan do ba da je be ye je dan 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 be ren zo ge do jen go da ne be me goje je de ne ba ro ra da de ja jo do do ro zo ge jo da je ga jin ji la jo ba yi do da go da jo ba de go ji lo zhan do ba ma do ru ji be jin zhen du me do ga ji ba ma do zhen gan do da de ba da do re de me do ye chen ba zo la ma gun Denge to je dan kargo to je zoma ye do dan do do na wa me be den ta ye no wa bo no do ba so badru zatu samaya mano bala ya badru zatu tenova Dhammapala. We called upon the Dhammapalas, as Lama Gelek says, you made an oath that you would take care and watch over and protect and liberate the causes of suffering from sentient beings. Now we need your energies. Please come forth. Namo Guru Be, Namo Guru Be, Namo Guru Be. Sweetie Denza Haraka, Rudy Hong Jo Hong Te, Bene Baje, Dane Ramjam, Tobe Doje, Gun Zedro, Damze Ye, Game Doze, Medza Nanga, Zoge Guru, Neze Ram, Yam, Sri 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 Nava Janje 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 Mejo Dada Jimejo Tajen Gawe Dowa Bajeza Petma June Nindo Duwaga Tadon Gabo Zoda Duwa Mezowa Dabzo Ganjen Bajezo Tenje Lange Jime Nojo Oh, Mama, when it's Devata, Guru, Dhamma, Dorje, Juna, Juna, and your city. Mama, when it's Devata, Guru, Dhamma, Dorje, Juna, Juna, and your city. Mama, when it's Devata, Guru, Dhamma, Dorje, Juna, and your city. Badruzatu Zamaya, Manubalaya, Badruzatu Denoba, Dedudu Nabova, Sudogaya Nabova, Zubogaya Nabova, Amaratu Nabova, Sogo City Nebraya, Zaranama Zudame, Zedum Kerum Guru Hum Daradagatu, Manemo Zogan, Zamaya, Satu, Duzu Sunge Guru Rumbaje, Guru Gunda Duwa Jumboja, Bajikunsa Dudu Boza. 소바도서 전제라도서 지난서 외바데 주바다 선발로게 주바 전제로 두스승게 그로른도제 그로겐나 두바 전보자 바지건서 도도도보자 조와도서 전제라도서 지난서 외바데 주바다 선발로게 주바 전제로 에 Rest your mind. The unity of space and light, the unity of essence and the nature, the unity of emptiness and knowingness, or emptiness and present moment wakefulness. Ah, ah, ah. Gently breathing out. And again, Prajna Paramita. No eyes, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. All appears like a dream, empty but appearing, appearing but empty. Recognize. Breathing out. Let go of what is past. Let go of what may come. Let go of what is happening now. Don't try to figure anything out. Don't try to make anything happen. Then, with joyous acceptance and surrender, relax right now and rest. So I saw in my mind, could you imagine all of you bodhisattvas of peace and harmony and compassion and happiness? Spread this throughout the world. Can you imagine every arena around the world would fill with people with that singularity of purpose? In China, I think it was in China, it may have been Thailand. It was reported 1 million young people and children sat in meditation for a day. Could you imagine a whole stadium? Instead of going to see the football or the soccer or whatever the play, it was to sit in unison with loving kindness and compassion for each and every sentient being, and to spread that throughout the cosmos. So we'll start with this small group. May this day you continue with joyous acceptance and surrender, have happiness and harmony as you go through your day and play. Anyway, probably enough for today, and you're ready to go out into the sunshine. Go have brunch, late brunch, go for a walk with your dog. Even put your cat on a leash and let it walk. Anyway, thank you so much for allowing me to be here. Please pray for the people of India, of Nepal, of Brazil, of Bhutan, the whole planet, the whole cosmos. This will pass. Maybe one thing to keep in mind, you have now completed in this cyberspace domain a year retreat, and you're heading into the second. Maybe you will do your 3-year retreat. You can complete your 3-year retreat. Imagine. We do it now under different circumstances, but you've already completed 1 year. Now you enter your second. You're making your fulfillment in your training. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful and peaceful, harmonious rest of the day. Good to be among, as His Holiness was said, all of my parents or all of my brothers.